So the next topic that we're going to discuss is inheritance. And that's a good metaphor because what we're going to talk about are basically what are known as parent and child classes. So basically our goal is if we make a new class, sometimes we want to be able to inherit the features of a different class. So we're basically going to create a class hierarchy. Not the sort of like Downton Abbey style, hoity-toity British people class hierarchy, but more of a hierarchy of classes where you create an object and then there are like sub objects that share similar characteristics, and then usually you add additional features to the child classes. The benefit of this is we don't have to keep writing the same lines of code over and over and over again. And so an ancestor is going to pass along the traits that it has to all of its offspring. It's a time-saving device. The other big benefit is it reduces the likelihood of bugs if you use inheritance. And then this is an introduction to the last topic that we're going to look at in this class, which is known as polymorphism. So essentially, the idea of inheritance is we're going to take a general concept and then keep making it more and more specialized. We're going to move from general concepts to more common features and then try to get even more specific after that. And you can have layers and layers of depth into just how deep your parent and child family trees go. So like you could have a concept of vehicle, and let's actually go back to my picture here. So you could have the class of something known as a vehicle. That would be the parent. And then the children, you could have, land vehicles. You could have sea vehicles. And you can have air vehicles. And then from there, you could then break down land vehicles. You could have motorized and non-motorized. So like land could then split into, does it have a motor or does it not have a motor? And then if it has a motor, then you could have things like, you could have a car. What else did I have here? You could have cars, trucks, motorcycles. So, you can break it down further. And then if it doesn't, then, you can have like a bike. A bike does not have a motor. You could have something like a carriage, like horse and buggy kind of thing. And so what we've done is we've just made like a hierarchy of classes, and then you can further subdivide a lot of these others here. I don't know why I put a second H in vehicles, but anyway, so where were we? So, and then you can break down sea vehicles, you could have like boats and hovercrafts or something. Air, you could have planes and helicopters or rockets, things like that. But anyway, the point is, you can kind of keep breaking things down into more specific categories. That's kind of the idea of parents and children when designing classes. So as an example, you might have a store. The store might sell 3 different products. And, generally speaking, any product that you have is going to have a wholesale price and a retail price. So basically, what did you pay for it? What are you selling it for? And that would be like a general product class. So you could then have subclasses from there. So, you know, you could have, excuse me. So you could have, you know, more specific kinds of products there. Is it a food item? Is it a drink? Is it furniture? I don't know. But anyway, so some terminology here. Another term for a parent class is a superclass, and a class that's lower is called a subclass. A superclass is more general, subclasses are more narrow. You can also have the terms base class and derived class. So the base is kind of like the bottom, the trunk of a tree, and then as it grows up, it's got the derived classes, which are like the branches coming off of the trunk of the tree. We've actually seen inheritance previously when we did stuff with streaming. We stream stuff to and from the console. We stream stuff to and from files. We stream things to and from strings. Those are all derived classes of a base class for streaming that uses that double arrow operator. Exceptions was another instance where we saw inheritance. An exception is used to basically exit the program if it comes up with something it's not expecting. So you've got a general exception class called the parent, and then there are child classes for if it's a logic error or a runtime error. We kind of discussed that distinction earlier. You know, is it a problem with the program itself, or is it a problem that happens while the program is being run? So kind of like what we were talking about here, here's sort of an instance of products and having classes and subclasses. So go ahead and look at what this code does. So in this code, we're creating a class called product. And we're going to make this stuff public because if we want a subclass to be able to access it, it will need to be public. Later, we'll look at if you wanted stuff to be private or protected. But for now, we're just going to make everything public just to keep it simple. So, as mentioned, we have a parent class product that has a wholesale cost and retail cost. We have a subclass cup, and this is how we're doing the inheritance, this block right here. So you do class cup, you initialize it just like you would initialize any other class, but to show who its parent is, you then put a colon, then you put public product, and so we're calling from public information here. It's inside the class product, and then the new features of the cup are going to be its volume and its color. So then if we run this, we're basically going to create a cup. We're going to call it plastic cup. We're going to initialize values for all of these. Because it's a product, it will have values for wholesale and retail. And then since it is also a cup, it has additional values for volume and color. And then we're just going to output the wholesale cost and the retail cost. I never imagined it would be so hard to say wholesale and retail back to back. But anyway, we run this, and basically we have different parts of the class, different member variables in different places. And as we make more and more products, the traits about them that are the same, because they're all, so the plastic cup costs 10 cents and the purchase price is 30 cents. So since every product that we have is going to have a price, we can just do this and only have it once and not put it in every single class that follows. And all we have to do is just say, hey, bro, I'm making a class cup. And oh, by the way, its parent is the public part of product. So that is the, so this is kind of the generic formatting here. You do the class name, colon, you do the public parent name, and then inside you'll put additional stuff in there.